welcome in. We are at Broncos Park. You guys can see the new construction going up over there. There's a new facility going up to my left. The old facility is in the background. We spent the day with the Broncos, and I got 5 takeaways from their camp. First takeaway, this is now a full-fledged Sean Payton program, one that now looks capable of doing what Sean Payton did in New Orleans, which was contend year in and year out. And yes, it's about the roster. The roster is a lot better than what these guys inherited a couple of years ago. But beyond just that, it's the way everybody's moving in one direction around here. This is an old school program. I attended a padded practice on Saturday. It was a controlled scrimmage. They weren't taking guys to the ground, but it was physical. And those elements are all over Payton's camp. 9-on-7 drills, gassers at the end of practice, longer practices, lots of padded practices. Sean believes that better calluses his team for the season, and is a big reason why they've been the healthiest team in football over the last 2 years statistically. But beyond just that, what you see out there is, again, a team that's not just doing what the coach is telling them to do, but a team that's buying into what the coach is telling them to do, which again, I think gives them a great chance for sustained success going forward here. Takeaway number 2, if there's a spot that I think there's going to be a big leap, it's probably at the skill positions on offense. There's going to be some internal improvement. Troy Franklin is one player, teammate of Bo Nix's at Oregon, who was drafted with him in 2024. He's come back bigger, stronger, better route runner, more confident. So you'll have that internal improvement for some of the young players on the roster. On top of that, there are some additions from the outside. Evan Ingram as a move tight end should give them an element they haven't had here since Payton's been here. And the running back room's been turned over. J.K. Dobbins comes over from the Chargers. He looks healthy. You know, that's a big question with him, of course, but he looks healthy. And he's playing with an edge that sort of recalls how Mark Ingram arrived in New Orleans under Payton all those years ago and became a real presence in the backfield. And then you've got their second-round pick, R.J. Harvey, who should bring a home run threat to the team that they haven't had out of the backfield since Payton's been here. And he's really made progress in the passing game, too. Didn't do a ton of it at UCF, but he's really coming along in pass protection and catching the ball out of the backfield. Takeaway number 3, I know what perception of Bo Nix was before the draft. That perception, for the most part, was that he is a low ceiling, high floor guy. And then after he had the big rookie year, a lot of people tagged him as just a system guy. I just tell you that people here do not see him that way. They think he's bigger, stronger, better arm, more athletic than anyone ever thought. And so they think there's still levels to his game. And the big area where he should take a step this year in his second year is in his command of the offense, his ability to adjust and change things on the fly. He was always a smart football player. They feel like they'll be able to unlock more of that this year by giving him more responsibility in those areas. Takeaway number 4, 2 big additions to the defense, which was perhaps the best defense in football last year. Both coming from the 49ers, both guys that the Niners hated to lose. Talanoa Hufanga at safety, and then Dre Greenlaw at linebacker. Greenlaw should bring some speed that should give Vance Joseph a different element from the linebacker position. There's a lot you can do with Greenlaw. If he can stay healthy, that's a question with him too, if he can stay healthy. And then Hufanga, who is a playmaker on the back end, who's a physical presence on the back end. His leadership and communication, again, this is something you saw in San Francisco, is really helping the young players in the secondary and should give Joseph some more flexibility in what's a really aggressive scheme with some of the young players that they're incorporating. Finally, takeaway number 5, that secondary should be a real strength, and it's because they might have the best corner group in football here. Pat Surtain, the best corner in football, one of the best players in football, is their number 1 guy. They have probably one of the best number 2s in football in Riley Moss. They have a really solid veteran slot corner in Jaquan McMillan, and then they bring in Jedi Barron from the University of Texas as their first-round pick. Now, Barron was seen differently by different teams. Some teams, because of his size, saw him as just a slot. Other teams thought that he could play all over the secondary, which is what he did at Texas. Thus far, what the Broncos are seeing is a guy who, as they had anticipated, can play all over the secondary, and again, should give Vance Joseph even more flexibility with the way that he uses his guys. That group's also indicative, again, of how much better the roster's gotten. It's at the point now where the biggest questions that the Broncos have over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks are things like, who's going to be the third running back? Who's going to be the 8th tackle, or the 8th offensive lineman, the 9th offensive lineman? And when those are the questions you're asking, your roster, your team is in a really good spot. This is a really, really good group. Appreciate you guys coming out. That's our 12th stop in the books. Los Angeles is next. Over the next 3 days, we will have the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Chargers for you. We'll see you guys from LA.